Yo, let's try this again. How's it going? Hopefully you guys are hearing me okay now. We are here today to do a few things. I was doing some Giants runs. That's actually not a bad room, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that. So we're gonna do another Giants run as we get going here. Or Giants run, sorry, not Giants run. Hopefully we get a good Giants run, but we're gonna do a Giants run. Alright, so here we go. What are we doing today? We are looking at somewhat of a new series here. I've had some requests to do like top 5 ranking videos or whatnot. I decided that I'm going to do 2 types of top 5 rankings. What's up, Danny Green? How are you? Thanks for joining the stream. So I decided I'm going to do multiple types. I'm going to break this apart into a series. First, I'm going to go through my top. So this is basically going to be my top 5 of every type of category. We're going to do my top 5 attackers, my top 5 HP units, my top 5, defense units, etc., so forth and so forth, right? What I mean by my top 5 is not my top 5 favorite in the game. It's going to be my top 5 that I have. The units that I like to use, and basically their usefulness to me and how I use them, and how often I use them. So I'm doing good. Glad to hear you're doing well. So this first episode is going to be my top 5 attackers on my team and why I like them, why I use them, what usefulness I get out of them, where I use them, things of that nature. And then we're going to start also my new series, Trick or Treat. I explained in a previous video what that meant, but I'll explain it again. So my Trick or Treat is basically going to be taking units that aren't super in the meta, I suppose is easy to say. They're not, overused. Of course, you see them here and there, but they're not like, part of the meta, like a Ganymede or a Wind Panda or whatever the case may be. They're not at the top of the cake, if you will, top of the tier. But can you help me out on raid when possible? Yes, Danny, I will. Just give me a little bit of time, and I will. What part of raid? What exactly are you having trouble with? But yeah, so these units that I'm going to be using are going to be units that aren't traditionally in the meta, but people still use them. But I'm going to showcase why, or whether or not they're a trick, which means that they are tricking you to believe that they are good enough to be a part of your team. Or if they're a treat, which basically is saying, yes, you can go ahead and use them and build them because they are that good to be able to use. I am not going to say which unit I'm going to do first because I'm going to do one per Trick or Treat episode. So this first one is going to be a fun one for me. It's actually my most recent 6-star, and they are fully built now, and I love them. Seem to fail in public with random people unless someone is OP. What teams are you using? Let me know what your standard team is here. So as soon as this Giants run is over, we're gonna get started with my top 5 attackers and why. And we're gonna go in order 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so here we go. And feel free, whoever is in chat, feel free to help each other out. I'm not a streamer that, that I have to be the one to answer you. If you guys can help each other out, if I'm not seeing it or if I'm looking down or something, go ahead and help each other out. I'm all about community and promoting help within the community. So, let's see if we can get lucky. No luck. Alright, so my top 5 attackers and why. Basically, I'm going through my top 5 that I have on my team. So in order 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. basically how we use them, all that good stuff. So number five on my team that I use as an attacker is none other than Hua. So Hua is an amazing monster. Okay, I will say that prior to this last free room removal, I've never really valued her the way she should be. So I've kind of just, I would go through my monsters, rune my attackers who I wanted runed, and then I would basically throw my leftover runes on her, not really using her. But finally, within looking at my monster box and what I had within the fires, my fire units, I realized that I didn't really have a strong fire attacker that I could go to in like Guild Wars or Arena or whatever the case may be. So I looked at Hua and I was like, why am I not using her? I see her all the time in R5s. Speaking of R5, I see her all the time being used. I see her all the time being used in Guild Wars on attack through other people's videos, especially like Shredded Puzzle. He uses Hua a lot. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should build her. So this last free room removal, I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on her. So these are the stats that I could come up with, right? So I went with a swift shield. So I wanted to get her as fast as I could and also put a shield on her so that she can shield everyone else. It's not much, you know, because the shield goes off of the base HP. So it's only going off of 9,720, which isn't great, but any little bit can help. It can lower, you know, the amount of damage that you're taking. So what I did is I put her on swift shield, speed, crit damage, attack, and then here's my 1, 3, 5. Again, I'll go through it again. So 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, 5. So I was able to get her plus 10,000 HP. So now she has 20,000 HP. So I can throw her in the back line of R5 and she can be viable. She can survive. She only has, you know, roughly 800-ish defense, a little above 800. But it works, right? Her attack, I was able to get plus 922. So she's got about 1,700, give or take, attack, with 73% crit rate and 142% crit damage. So 73% crit rate isn't, you know, as high as you would want her, but typically in R5 runs, which is where I've been using her now, typically in R5 you have, of course, you know, you have 3 teams. The most common leader skills of the 3 teams are going to be defense, of course, resistance, and crit rate. So typically you'll see a crit rate lead of either 19 or 24%. So 19% being from Hua herself, or 24% like I used to run with Theomars, and sometimes I'll see Theomars as well. So with that, it bumps her crit rate up even more. She's able to land, and with plus 98 speed now, she's over 200 speed. She's gonna hit hard because both of her skills scale on speed. Or deal extra damage because of the speed. So with that, you're able to use her in a lot of places. So I'm able to use her in R5 now as one of my main damage dealers, because I also run her with the Water Kung Fu Girl as a damage dealer, right? So she's able to do R5. She's also able to do Guild Wars with me now. I usually will run her. Honestly, I've been running her a lot with slower healers or whatnot. So basically, she'll get the first attack, try to put on the slow, and then I'll protect her with everyone else until she gets time to go ahead and move. So I think this last Guild War, I ran her as the lead, and then I ran her with Rakuni and Konamiya, which a lot of people would be like, really? That a 3-star and a 2-star? But yeah, it works. So what I do is I'll hit first with her, hit land an attack, buff her up with Rakuni, or actually I think my Rakuni is faster, so I'll give her an attack buff, hit one time, then Konamiya goes, buffs her up again with Resurge, hits again. So at that point, typically I would have one unit gone already. So then all you got to do is survive. At that point, you know, the other team is attacking. You have Rakuni, who can cleanse off up to 2 debuffs every turn that he goes, so you build him fast. You have Konamiya that has a cleanse and a heal that goes along with it, and Rakuni's passive also not only removes the effects, but also will give the monster with the lowest HP 10% HP every move that he goes. So you have, you know, they're not relatively great healers, but you have healers that can keep her alive along the way. She's also very useful in TOA, especially with the boss. So for the first time in my Summoners War career, I guess you could say career, I beat TOA hard 100. Before this last rotation, the highest I've ever gotten in TOA hard was stage 73. I can never get past, no matter which month it was, the 73 was the highest I could go for whatever reason. I was given advice by numerous people, hey, try Hua, build her. And I was like, man, my Hua's not built. She's not ready for that. So finally, I built her the way I was, you know, given advice to, the best I can. Ran all the way through to TOA 100 hard. I was stuck on that for a while. But finally, I was able to bust through. And it was honestly all thanks to Hua. Her ability to push back the attack bar, her ability to land slow, and her ability to hit hard even without a defense break is amazing. She took the boss down quick, efficiently. Never really may have gotten hit once, but because I have 20,000 HP on her, she was able to tank it out. Hua is a great attacker. So if you have her and you're not building her like you're building her with some of your best runes, which is what I was doing, don't make that mistake. Build her. She's worth it. Okay, so that's my number 5 of my attack units on my team only. That's my number 5 unit. Number 4, which a lot of people are going to be like, oh, surprising. But number 4 is Lushen. I'm pretty sure in any type of top list of anything, whether it be of the whole game, whether it be of your favorite, whether it be of your best, the best, whatever the case may be, I'm fairly certain Lushen is going to be in that list somewhere. Okay, Lushen is very, very useful. I still remember the day I pulled him. It was crazy. I wasn't expecting anything. You know, I got some lightning and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he popped out. I was like, that's who everyone be talking about. I can't wait. So I built him. I have 2 Lushens right now built. I've gotten a couple more. I think I had at 1.4. But me personally, I've seen people build, you know, the famous Jew Bagel. He builds. He made a promise though, but he builds every Lushen that he gets. I personally don't feel like I need that. I built 2 just so that I can get through like giants and whatnot quicker. But yeah, this is my better Lushen. My other Lushen is more speed but less damage. So if I bring a double Lushen into arena, hopefully I won't proc that Nemesis healer to be able to cut in between. So yeah, this is my big boy Lushen. Plus 1576 attack, 197% crit damage with 81% crit rate. Pretty solid. Not super fast, but plus 43 is pretty decent. And then plus 12,000 HP. That's icing on the cake right there. So that means that he can actually take a hit. He's not just your typical attacker who I can nuke everyone down, but if I get touched once, I'm going down. No, he can tank some stuff out. 22,000 HP with 600 plus defense. That's pretty solid for a Lushen. So where's Lushen good? Of course, he's great in giants. Funny enough, I've actually seen him ran in Dragons B10 as well, which is funny because you think, you know, he's wind, Dragons B10 is fire. You can't do that. but it actually works. And funny enough, I think it was on this device. So let's check. Oh, I can't check unless oh, well, there it is. Funny enough, Lushen was on my fastest Dragons run ever. I just passed my I just beat a new record, actually, I think 2 days ago, because I was like, you know what, let me try Lushen on Dragons B10, even though he's win. And I got 53 seconds or something like that. Yaku did his ignore defense, landed it. Tark brought the right people. Galleon defense broke perfectly. So it worked out perfectly, right? So you can use him there. You can use him in Necro B10. He has multi-hits on his third skill. If you built him violent, you don't need revenge on him because he only hits once on his first skill, unless you have really OP, overpowered revenge runes. I mean, he does disturb HP with his first attack, so if you can get some really overpowered revenge runes on him, then go ahead. But I would suggest, just to make sure that his crit rate is solid, I would suggest Violent Blade if I was running him for Necro. I just thought about it. I didn't even show my runes. So Rage Blade, attack, crit damage, attack. 1, 3, 5. So yeah, Necro B10, definitely Giants B10, Dragons B10. You can use them in TOA if you're speed running through. So a lot of people, especially on TOA normal, a lot of people when it resets will run just like I do. I run double Lushen all the way through as far as I can, just to speed run through it and get as high as I can, as fast as I can, right? So TOA, he can be used. Obviously, he can be used in arena. A lot of people do double Lushen. That's their main offense to get to the top. You'll see double Lushen as high as Guardian. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to let you know this. The internet was bad, the stream got cut. So now we pick up where we left off, talking about Lushen. Enjoy. I think I was having some issues with my connection here, so hopefully we're back up. Hopefully everybody is still with me. Again, sorry about that. But yeah, what I was saying, Lushen is very viable in every stage, in every aspect of the game. Giants, Dragons, Necro, TOA, Arena. Not really raids like R5. You can use him in Rift Beast, like the water one. But there's a lot of other units that are better and that can get you higher scores. But yeah, Lushen is amazing. So Lushen is my number 4 monster on my top attackers. Number 3, we're staying with Wind. And again, this is my top 5 attackers and why. Lagmaron. Or Lagmaron, however you want to pronounce it. So, Lag is an amazing monster. He's my number 3. His kit is amazing. So his first move is kind of lackluster. He just lands a dot if you land it. But second move, Squall, the damage is increased according to your attack speed. So you want to build him a fast. And your attack speed gets buffed for 2 turns if you get a critical hit. So that's amazing. So you can increase your speed to hurry up and keep moving, and his move scales on speed. So he's gonna hit hard. And then his third skill is awesome. It attacks all enemies, weakens their attack power, and has a chance to stun. And it's a high chance to stun too, 75%. You can't go wrong with that. So I don't know if anybody saw my or saw the video that I was so blessed to be on with Childish Plays. It's on his YouTube channel right now. We do RTA battles. The first match that we had, we were able to use any monster that we wanted. I brought Lagmaron. It was funny. He looked up for a second to say something to the camera. I can't remember what he was saying, but he said something. I did my move, lightning strike, and stunned 3 out of his 4. And he looked back down and was like, "What happened?" it was a funny moment. So Lagmaron is very viable, right? So I use Lagmaron, or Lagmaron, however you want to say it. I use him all the time. I use him a lot in Guild Wars. So what I do on offense is I'll bring Galleon as the lead. So buffing my speed, so that's already helping his second skill hit harder, right? I'll put Lagmaron or Lagmaron in there. Lag, I'm just call him Lag from now on. I'll put Lag in there, and then I'll bring Bernard. So I go into the battle. Bernard buffs the speed, so now he has a speed buff, which helps his second skill, Squall. I'll use Galleon to defense break everyone and also give myself attack power buff. So now you're looking at a Lagmaron with a speed buff, an attack buff, and defense break on the opponent. My lag can hit, with the stacks that he has, can hit about 60,000 if all works well. If I have the attack buff, the speed buff, and the defense break, and he crits, he can hit about 60,000 on Squall. And if I get a defense break on everyone, then I'll use Lightning Strike, and he can hit about 25 to 35,000 depending on their opponent and their defensive stats. And then I also that means that I also have a chance to stun them. So he's amazing. He's one of my staple units in Guild Wars. I love him in Guild Wars. I love using him in Arena or RTA, Real Time Arena, because you kind of take people by surprise because they're not really expecting lag. Lag isn't really in the meta like that. Rakan, his brother, his fire brother, he's huge in RTA, huge in Guild Wars, but you don't really see lag too much. So you bring a lag, you surprise a lot of people. They're like, I wonder what he's gonna do. You stun everybody, they're like, whoa, what just happened? Just like Childish did. Now, disclaimer, Childish, of course, being the top rank that he is, he did come back and beat me. But with that 3-person stun that I did, I was able to take out one of his units right away because everyone else was stunned. I could focus on that unit. So if you're able to get that done, it's a very positive thing for you, right? He's huge in Rift Beast, like the water one. He does a lot of damage, and he goes a lot because you build him with speed automatically. You have to bring in the water beast. You have to bring a attack bar booster so that you can take off or get through that stage with the water beast. That when they shorten your life with the attack bar, all that good stuff. So you're gonna bring a speed buffer. So you're gonna make him hit harder automatically, right? So lag, that's why I love lag. He, like I said, he's a staple unit for me in Guild Wars. And I love using them. So that's my number 3. Number 2 on my attacker. My top 5 attackers, we are going to the water. Theomars. Theomars is one of those units that if you build him with Violent, and you face him on Guild War defense, he is going to go ham. Literally. I kid you not, he has been the killer for me so many times against him on Guild War defense, or when I'm fighting a defense, because for whatever reason, I don't know if CompTOS has it built into their coding, but Theomars will go 4 times on you and wreck 2 of your 3 right off the bat. Defense break. Hit you with his first skill, you're dead. Defense break, hit you with his first skill, you're dead. Like he is a killer. So as you guys can probably guess with me saying that, I have mine built on Violent, and I also have him built on Revenge because I do use him on my Guild War defense. So when he gets attacked, he has a chance to attack back. So I have speed, crit damage, attack, slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. And these are my stats. So I'm over 20,000 HP. So he's a decently tanky attacker. Almost plus 1,000 attack. 75 speed. 71% crit rate with 174% crit damage. Right? Why I build him on speed? Because his first skill scales on speed, just like Lag's Squall's scales on speed, so does Theomars Mega Smash, right? So you want to build him speedy. You typically see everyone building him speed, crit damage, attack, unless they have a lot of speed substats and they can go attack, crit damage, attack, which is honestly even better. If you can get him to plus 200 speed without even putting speed on slot 2, that's a killer Theomars, right? Because now you're looking at a 200 speed Theomars, but then he also has what, plus 1500 attack because you're able to go attack, crit damage, attack. I wish honestly I was able to do that, but I can't at the moment. I don't have the runes for that. But speed, crit damage, attack is viable as well. That is perfectly fine. Where's Theomars used? You can use him almost everywhere as well. You can use him in Giants B10. You can use him in Dragons B10. You can use him in Necro B10. I've used him in Necro B10. He has a second skill that hits 3 times, so that's a multi-hit. But if you build your team around him, he can be the damage dealer on the team. You can use him in R5. I've used him in R5 for very long until I just recently built my quad. So R5, he's very viable. You can use them in a lot of the Rift Beasts. You can use them in the water one. You can use them in the wind one. You could even use them in the fire one if you around him bring a lot of AOE hitters, so that he can they can take out the bombs that the Rift Beast brings. You can use them in the light and the dark one. You can use Theomars literally everywhere in the game. Arena, Guild War defense. He's one of those units that are completely. How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for joining the stream. Theomars is one of those units that is completely usable pretty much everywhere in the game. So that is why Theomars is my number 2, my top 5 attackers. Okay. Again, these are from my units that I have. This isn't of the whole game, but this is of my units. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, so this is my number 2 monster on my list. Before we go into number 1, who's my favorite attacker of my squad, I'm gonna do a couple of honorable mentions. So the number 1 honorable mention is Beth. I love Beth. She has 2 AOE skills, so she's amazing for the Rift Beast of Fire. Thank you for haunting the squad. I appreciate it. So with the 2 AOE, she's amazing in the Fire Rift Beast, right? Amazing. She's one of the units that you have to bring if you have her. I use her a lot in Guild Wars because she has the AOEs, because she has the 3rd skill that disturbs HP, also can put on defense break. She's an amazing unit, okay? Plus 1400, almost plus 1500 attack on her, 76% crit rate and 155% crit damage. She hits pretty hard. My Beth is not on Despair. My Beth is on Swift, so I have her on Swift Blade so that she can she works well with my defense breakers. Even though she does defense break on her 3rd skill, I like to be more proactive in bringing defense breakers. So I have her on Swift. You can put her on Despair with those 2 AOEs if you have the proper runes for her to be able to put her on Despair. But that's my bet. Next honorable mention, moving right over 1 spot, Avarice. I feel like with the recent rave over his brother Kuman, the Fire Anubis, I feel like a lot of people overlook Avarice. Avarice is, I will show my runes for Tark Danny right after Avarice. Avarice is an amazing monster. The fact that he can stop anyone in the game from reviving is absolutely OP to me. I bring him all the time in teams that I fight that have a reviver or that automatically revive themselves. Case in point, Perna. I love bringing Avarice against the Perna because that Perna can wreck you bad. And if you bring Avarice with a defense breaker and also couple that with his brand, lights out for Perna. I've fought a Perna before where I brought Avarice with Galleon. Defense broke. Did this. It landed on the first skill the first hit because it hits 3 times. He did 19,000, I think, 13,000 on the first hit, 27,000 on the second hit, 37,000 on the third hit. So he hits hard. That's a dead Perna, and you're not coming back because with his passive you cannot revive. I like to bring him if I can against teams with a Ladriel or a Beta. Anyone that has revivers, I'll bring him with me. But that's pretty much the only area I use Avarice in is Guild Wars, so that's why he's not on my top 5 favorite attackers. He's just on my honorable mentions. And then my last honorable mention is Light Phoenix. So I pulled this Light Phoenix maybe 9-10 months ago. Amazing unit. I just haven't found the right rooms to make this unit shine the way I want to, right? She hits hard. She's an amazing attacker. I mean, her base attack is already 1,054. Oh, sorry. Real quick, before I get into that, you did ask for Tark. I just remembered this is my Tark. So I have him on Fatal Blade, speed, crit damage, attack. Basically just use him for like dragons or rifts, any place like that. Giants, with his third skill, group hunt, brings fellow attackers. Amazing unit, but I don't really have enough rooms to put him on an amazing room build as well. So he kind of gets some leftovers, but it's still pretty decent. So going back to my honorable mention, Eludia. So yeah, I saw, low crit rate. Like I said, I don't have the rooms yet that I want. Obviously, I want to build her with more crit rate. When I do bring her, though, into a fight, a lot of times I'll bring her with Shren, whose third skill or whose leader skill is 23% crit rate for light monsters. So that's why I can kind of get away. And then, with Eludia being a light monster, he has the advantage over all the other, attributes other than the dark units. So I can kind of get away with low crit rate, but these are my stats right now for Eludia: Revenge, Rage, Attack, Crit Damage, Attack. So yeah. So now going into my number 1 favorite attacker that I have. He is, honestly, you can't use him. I don't use him everywhere. Like let's say Theomars, but he is my favorite. I love him. I transmogged him. I put great runes on him. He hits hard. The main place I use him is not Lag. Lag was number 3. Lag was my 3rd favorite. But the main place I use this unit is in Arena. I have him speed sunk with my current Arena offense team that I use a lot. And my number 1 favorite, again, this is just my favorite on my team. Nope, Lushen was number 4. My favorite is Sige, or like YDCB calls him, Bob. I absolutely love Sige. Amazing monster. Like I said, I have him speed sunk with my arena offense. So my arena offense, one of the arena offenses I use is Chiwu at the lead, Galleon, Bernard, Sige. So first Bernard goes, buffs everyone's speed, gives me attack bar boost. Then Chiwu goes, strips everyone if they have will or shield or whatever the case may be. Or if they bring a Theomars, I'll use the second skill to block beneficial effects on Theomars so I can kill him right away. Galleon goes, defense breaks everyone, and then Sige goes and wrecks the whole squad, right? So his Dark Slash, I have it fully skilled, hits like a truck, right? Well, let's not say like a truck, but he hits hard. It hits hard for me, right? So I think it goes like 19 and 19 because it hits twice. Yes, I do have him on will. I'm about to show his runes in a second. But hits twice, 18,000, 18,000, or 19,000, 19,000. Depends on the unit that I'm going against. And then if he activates his Supreme Sky Wolf, sort of Supreme Sky Wolf, then that brings along a shield as well, kind of protects him for the time that he's out there waiting to go again. And then doesn't matter what they do at that point if he comes up again, right? Because if Chloe puts on a shield at that point, or somebody puts on, whatever the case may be, some more beneficial effects on their team, he ignores all that. This sort of the Supreme Skywolf ignores all beneficial effects. So even if Chloe puts on her Fanatic, he's cutting through all of that. So I've done 47,000 on a Chloe Theomars that were shielded up at the time with Fanatic. Cut through it because they were defense broken when she put the Fanatic on. Cut through it, dead. Doesn't matter what you have on. He's cutting through it, right? So right now I have him on Swift Wheel. Yes, the optimal room probably, as you were saying, is probably Shield Wheel. But at the moment, like I said, I'm trying to. My goal was to get him speed sunk with the rest of my squad. So I had to go Swifts so that I can go attack, crit damage, attack. I wouldn't have to go speed, crit damage, attack, and sacrifice some speed. But yeah, not the greatest rooms in the world. They could be a lot better. A lot of these were probably blue rooms to start, but for me, they work, right? Attack, crit damage, attack, 175 speed total, almost 2,500 attack, 169% crit damage, 83% crit rate. He's an amazing unit. I love him in Arena. I love using him all the time. But again, I don't use him everywhere, so he's just my favorite. I just have grown to love him. When I pulled him, I was ecstatic. Honestly, I think I was more happy when I pulled him than when I pulled Eludia, the Light Phoenix. I was just happy because it was a Nat 5 Light Dark. But Sige is my absolute favorite unit as far as attackers. All right. So now those are my top 5. Just to recap: number 5, my top 5 attackers. Number 5, Hua. Number 4, Lushen. Number 3, Lagmaron. Number 2, Theomars. Number 1, this guy right here, this amazing samurai, this rock star looking dude, Sige, or Bob, whatever you want to call it. Well, thank you for watching episode 1 of the My Top series. This first episode was my top favorite attackers, top 5. Again, this is the top 5 in my monster box, not in the game. So stay tuned for episode 2. It's going to be my top 5 defensive units on my team. If you like what you see, give me a like, subscribe if you're new. Thank you for rocking with your boy. It's JD the Gamer. Peace out.